Hello and welcome to Patil Financial Services. This is Pranav Patil. Today we will discuss how to stay positive in the time of recession. Because you must have seen the news that US mortgage rates have gone up to 6 to 7%. That will actually create the chaos in coming time. But that will be short-term perspective. But more than the financial chaos, it creates the mental chaos as well in your mind. So we will try to discuss 4 to 5 simple points. I'm sure it will help you to change the perception about the recession and the how you perceive the market as well. So we will not go into the much details about the recession, how it works, how where it impacts, how they take a decision, because all these points we have discussed in one of our video on the recession. So if you're looking for more details on the recession, how it works, why it happens, you can check the that video as well. So the point in the last video, I explained you what is a recession. It is like you're driving a car on the road and your car gets stuck in the porthole. So after some time you try to ask someone to take out that car from the portal, or you try to remove it from that portal, and because of that your time uh, you know gets spent on that activity. So in other word, the car is economy and the portal is a recession. The economy is stuck for some time into that portal, that is a recession, and due to that the lot of chaos happens. But if you look at from a bigger perspective, you will find it is a just a normal way of economy or normal way of living. Once your car is out of that portal, you can increase the speed and you can cover that time as well by increasing the speed of your vehicle. So this is just an example I shared with you. So what exactly happened in the US? The mortgage rates went down till 2% as well, and from that 2% in the last few months it has gone up to 6 to 7%. Comparatively, in Indian banks have not increased that prospective rate, as in that much rates we have not seen upside in the Indian markets. The other day one of my friend was thinking that okay, the mortgage rates are gone up drastically, this Modi government is creating a huge chaos for the people. But actually it is not in the Modi government's hand or anybody's hand. If the RBI doesn't take a decision on promptly, if they don't increase the interest rate, the money will go back and we will see the chaos like what happened in the UK, disaster chaos. So that's one of the reason. If the RBI or the central bank is increasing the interest rate, it is good for the people, it is good for the economy. You will get to know after some time why I'm saying this. Because if the money goes back, then it is very difficult for markets and all the financial institutions to survive. That's one of the reason. What I would suggest, whatever things happening, let it happen. Don't get emotional or don't think much about it. I know a lot of you may have EMIs as well, like mortgage loan EMIs or personal loan EMIs. That EMIs have gone drastically. Like earlier you used to you had a 20 years EMI, now it become a 26 or 28 years EMI because of the increase in the interest rate. But in Indian markets, we have not seen higher rates like we have seen in the US market. US market is like from 2% to 6 to 7%. Now just imagine if you are getting a product at 2 rupees and suddenly that product price is priced at 6 to 7 rupees. What will happen? You will restrict from buying that product. Point number 1. Point number 2, you will try to find the alternative. Point number 3, you will wait for it to uh, to produce something, to use that product. You will wait, okay, let it the rate come down and we will after that use it. That, for example, onions, what happens when the price goes up? You try to reduce the consumption. Similar way, why, you must have seen the news as well. A lot of US bank CEOs are claiming that we may face the recession in the next 2 or 3 quarters time frame. Most of them, but this is what they are saying. The reason, because what happens when the interest rates goes up, you restrict your spending power. What happens, you get a habitual to take a loan at 2% or 1% on a credit card, or 2% or 3%, and you spend it. But if that rate goes to 7%, you don't spend like you used to spend, and that's one of the reason demand gets stuck. Demand gets at the downturn. Indirectly it hammers on the economy, which creates the recession in the economy. Now, why this happen, why central banks are doing this? Because if they don't increase the interest rate, the inflation is going up and up and up. So to control that behavior, it is very important to increase the interest rate. See, understand, in Indian markets, if you are thinking the interest rates are going up, it and this Fed is creating a turmoil in the global economy, absolutely not. Understand, because of them we are getting a interest the loans at a cheaper rate. Earlier Indian markets were having like 18% interest, 20% interest, 16% interest, 15% interest. Because of this Fed decision, the interest rate has gone down, and that has gone drastically. So for some time, if it is taking up, you should not send the negative vibration to these firm or institutions. Because of them, actually you got the cheaper interest. Now we will try to understand why I'm saying stay positive. Point number one, it is the decision by the central banks taken with a conscious mind to control the inflation. It is not actually economy is in the problem, because if you look at the top 10 US firm like Apple, Google, Microsoft, etc., etc., all these top 10 firms have more than $4 trillion cash in hand. Trust me, if they don't do a business for next 10 years, their employee can survive, they will get the salary. That much cash they have. Then why the chaos is happening? The reason, because the stock prices gets hammered. If the sales gets hammered, indirectly entire the company gets a problem with the valuation. That's one of the reason they have to show the some actions. So the point which I'm trying to make is, in the coming months you will find a lot of fogs on the recession part. Okay, the interest rate will go up, the spending power go up, spending power will come down, and the employment will go down drastically, and lot of unemployment will be there. This kind of news you will see in the newspaper, but you have to stay positive. It is up to you how you stay positive. You think 5 points which we will discuss. First is, watch and think how much it's required. If you are investing a particular stock, don't watch all the global markets. Okay, US is down by 30%, DAX is down by 20%, or Nikkei is down by 15%, Indian markets are down by 7%, they may crack, blah blah blah. If you do lot of things, you will have a hammer in your mind that will create a chaos, that will actually create an instability in your investment decision. So my point is that think and watch how much it is required. If you have invested in a particular stock, think about that only. Just look at the price of that particular stock only. Don't watch the Nifty rate or index rate or other global markets rate. It will indirectly create a panic in your mind, and which will indirectly affect on your investment decision. That is point number one. Second is, there are a lot of comments comes from a different CEOs or the bank CEOs. Like most of the US bank CEOs have declared that in the next 6 to 7 months we will see the recession. It is a lobby, understand. If their businesses gets hammered because of this decision, because won't be, the spending will go down, indirectly loans will go down, indirectly their business will hammered, indirectly their profits will hammered. They have to have to have this kind of comments in the market or the news. So indirectly they create a pressure on the governments as well, the central banks as well. So you should not be worried about that what they say. It is very important where you invest, and your thought process stick to that company only. Their job is create the lobby and ensure the pressure is on the government or the central bank, and they reduce the interest rate. Now point number third, it won't last for a long, it lasts for, let's say, 1 to 3 years perspective. So if the interest rates are going up in Indian market, it will come down again, say 1.5 year or 1 year or 3 year. In the less than 3 years, you will find again downturn in the interest rate. If the recession comes, actually the flood of money comes, not immediately but after 6 months time, because this is the way how it works. If the recession comes, the central banks comes in the picture and they push the money into the market. Indirectly, the market gets a huge amount of money, the financial institutions as well, and they reduce the interest rate further. So that benefit you will get it. It is not necessarily when the interest rates are going up, the economy isn't the problem. Don't see that perspective. It is, sometimes if it is going much down, it is a problematic. If it is going much up, then it is a problematic. Too much upside and downside, it creates the chaos in the market. The next point is that understand the thing that it is a part and parcel of the economy. If your car is stuck in the portal on the road, you should not think that, okay, it was my bad luck. Oh, I made a mistake by buying a car. I should have bought something else. I should have bought the train ticket or air ticket. Don't think in that. It is a part and parcel of the life. So a recession is also the part and parcel of your economy. Don't get dependent, or don't create the chaos in your mind because of this kind of news. So we have discussed couple of points, like how to stay positive. Point number one, I'll just conclude the entire discussion. Point number one is think and watch how much it is required. Basically, I'm talking about the news. Second, there is a lobbying comes from a different CEOs. They send a lot of interviews and the news in the media. Don't go with the flow only. Their job is to create the pressure. They will try to do it at the best level. Your job is to try to avoid this kind of news. Third is, if recession is a part of economy, understand. Fourth is, it lasts for a 1 to 3 years perspective. So if the recession comes, it will not be there for an entire life. It will be a for short term perspective. If your EMIs are getting hammered, earlier you supposed to pay your loan within 20 years. Now it become a 26 years. You should not be worried about it. Later on, after a year, once the interest rate comes down, your tenure will also come down. So after some time, you will get the benefit out of it as well. As far as the market is concerned, sixth point is that when the recession comes, there is a flood of money comes, but not immediately. In a quarter's time or 2 quarters time, you will see a lot of money comes in the market, and directly the stock market also goes up. The seventh point we discussed, that stay invested. Whenever you see the opportunity, whenever you have a money in the hand, try to accumulate those shares where you have invested or where you wanted to top up, and keep those stock from a long term perspective only. Trust me, staying positive, it will help you to think differently. Hope you have enjoyed this entire discussion. I'm sure these points will help you to stay positive in this time. In the coming period, we might see a chaos in the economic activity, because the Fed has gone up, drastically upside on the interest rate part. Thank you for your time. Hope you have enjoyed today's discussion. Thank you.